22, so I have no idea.
Right.
Nobody.
I rolled a
knows.
44 and 100.
Oh, nice.
Maybe.
So you said 42?
We don't know.
It's a random chart,
49.
so...
Could be bad.
It could be
49.
bad, it could be great.
And then roll it for me one more time, if you would.
What are some good hashtags? Indie, RPG,
38.
Twitch,
38. Alrighty.
streamer.
Thank you. Preston, I will need the same from you, please.
Okay. What is the stat?
Or you don't have to
D100.
use it.
Hashtag
D100?
Yep. Or you can roll the golf ball.
I'll just roll.
Just so round that it doesn't stop easily.
What do you got?
87?
87.
87.
No.
And then roll it one more time for me.
Watch out, Brom. Watch out.
Oh, that was almost a
92.
It was another 100. Twice. Ridiculous.
Of course not. That's just terrible.
yeah. Crap of
Oh,
what's been going on in the last since we played last in December. At least last time as the broken spear and not.
it was in December. Oh, it was. I think it was like mid-February, but it hasn't been 2 months since you played as Ari.
Well, so we did the with the
The Thieves
vestibule
one is the last one we did.
That was the last one we did, and that was in February.
Yeah.
But the last time I played
With the
like
broken spear.
Akio and you know what I mean was when
before the
it
fire.
was when Thornock tried to kill me.
Yeah, so that was in like December.
That was in December.
Did you not do the one where you guys got ambushed in the alleyway?
No, that's
You
where
weren't there?
we did that one, and then we ended up doing the Pyreward.
And then we did, then we did. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been a while. To be fair, you were you were traveling the
Been a
time all that.
Well,
during
like
that
my
time.
father-in-law died, and my grandma
that's right.
died, and I had like 3 work trips. And
Yeah.
it was crazy. And it was the holidays.
Yeah, and then Valentine's Day. That time for us. We're more of a spring.
Well, usually I play when I travel, not when I get home on. Because then, like, I've been gone for 2 or 3 days, and like I can't get like, hi, honey, I'm home. Okay, see you later.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
That doesn't work.
Wives,
Wow.
family.
Familia.
Invasion, that's what I do.
Don't ever delete or roll up. It's fun.
Oh, you're
True.
Drew.
And
True.
one effect on yourself.
Goliath.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and get started here. So it's been a long time since the Order of the Spear has come together. A few things have happened in the interim. Ari went and helped Sister Vestibule with an issue in Baldur's Gate, meeting up with her old crew and saving a bunch of kidnapped orphans and other children from the clutches of an evil Slad. Yep.
That's right.
As well as a hag that was helping him that seemed to recognize Ari
Right.
and wish him death. Meanwhile, the rest of the Order of the Broken Spear received, or rather Brahm specifically, received a will or a summons to his uncle's mansion, basically in
Meyerwind.
Meyerwind. Yes.
Not Meyerwood.
Meyerwind, Pyrewood.
Wood.
Yeah.
I remember that discussion.
Okay.
We made it different.
Yep.
Been a long time for me too. The party went and basically had to solve the mystery of the labyrinth in order to win the estate of Sir Bram Skurius's uncle, which they did. And they also won the favor of a unicorn who agreed to follow them for 1 month's time
That's right.
and assist them in their journeys.
And I've got a new. And
And apparently she's
So-
the hot spot.
Oh yeah,
So
that's just because everybody wanted her to kiss a kiss.
You got. I mean, you both have hooves. Okay,
Yeah.
so kiss them.
So we now have a house, a manor, a mansion, castle.
We have a staff too. Well, he has a staff. I mean, I help pay for them, so
Yeah.
maybe they're partially my
I think I
that's,
paid him
that's
an-
our that's our
Yeah, like,
second.
That's up to you guys. That's not.
Because I
Second
think
load.
last time I paid him
couple
for the
months,
year.
right?
We paid a
money or
year
something.
up front.
Yeah, you
I
paid.
s-
You
I
paid a
split
year.
That way I
upfront.
wouldn't have to worry about.
It was like 600 gold or
Wages.
something like that. So.
Okay.
Sure. And I told
Nice.
them that if they see that, all the other family members, they're okay to come on premise. If or what's his bucket, the throat puncher, on site. Artemis.
He's still alive.
My brain keeps saying
Which-
our times.
Yeah, we
I
tried
don't
to
think
kill him,
you
and he was
actually
a
got to see
freaking
him.
construct.
Yeah.
So-
Again.
So you've never actually seen Artemis, the figure, but here he is.
He's super cyborgy.
Cool. Now, all of this has been going on as you have been waiting to hear back for the next session of the Council of Waterdeep, where all of the different members who are discussing the threat that is the Cult of the Dragon are meeting, and they've kind of left you in a little bit of a lurch, being like, we haven't really set a date yet, I mean, these are very important people, they've all got stuff to do, so you've been kind of listless for the past couple weeks. But how we're going to begin tonight is we're going to begin with Ari. You've entered back into Waterdeep, and after a long journey back, probably a little bit quicker, you probably may have taken magic back home just to be sure that nothing happened to everybody else while you were away.
Right.
And you've kind of done a little bit of searching because your friends aren't in the tavern. But they did leave a pretty obvious trail of breadcrumbs that you could follow, and you followed them to the Tinker's Guild in Waterdeep. Basically, it's kind of the combined Church of Gond as well as kind of a hub for all sorts of different tinkers to work on their. And it's actually brought you to the office of one Professor Furlong. And he's a very excited gnome. His office is full of all these different contraptions. When you came into his office, he pulled on a few cranks and twisted a few knobs, and a tray of tea came down, and they offered you a good biscuit while you're waiting. Furlong. Yep.
What was his first name?
Professor.
Professor.
Professor Furlong. You're writing that down literally, aren't you?
No.
Okay. Alrighty, good. And he basically explained that once you've kind of ingratiated yourself to him, kind of convinced him that you are part of the Order of the Broken Spear, he reveals to you that they went away to one of the gnomish kingdoms. He doesn't really go into too many details, but he does say that they took one of his magical portals to get there, so their return trip should be coming right through that door whenever they're ready. And at that point, the portal that he points to kind of lights up, and out come the other 5 members of your party, along with a large horse with a horn on its head that looks a little taken aback, and Professor Furlong has the same surprised look on his face. And he goes, "Oh, you're back! I found your friend here, or your friend found me, rather."
Take a sip of tea and say, I don't believe I lost them.
Coincidences?
Thank you.
We're rusty.
Woo! Yeah.
I take it your business has been taken care of?
It has. Yeah, my old matron was, and the orphans were under threat. I'll have to catch you guys up on it another time, but it looks like you've had a much more elaborate adventure than I.
It's been a wild trip for sure. Turns out my uncle. But in light of this, and morning is passing, seems that we have a new place that can help us if we need. New place to R&R.
I assume Artemis was involved.
Indeed, unfortunately.
Meta knowledge.
He's like a.
No, I mean it's his family. I've got
Just a cough, guys. Sorry.
I've got
Just
a
keep
cinnamon.
going. Don't worry. If there's anybody watching the stream currently at home, roll me 2d100 and tell me the individual results, just in case.
There's
Continue though. Sorry.
apparently one person watching.
It's you, isn't it?
It's probably
It's you. So
That's what we get for being so long.
we lost all of our
true.
friends.
the two friends that we
Well,
had.
it's he like a cockroach.
Just give Twitter a
he's
second.
found another way to scamper out from underneath the rock he's been hiding.
Wait, we didn't kill him again?
Unfortunately, we were able to dispose of his apparition. Seems he has another construct. This one a little more sophisticated than the last, but we were able to dispose of it. And
More likely a simulacrum, says the.
Yeah, and we
That was
got
my
we got a
thinking as
friend. I point to the unicorn.
I
Come with me for a moment, would you? All right. And he scurries off with Tavish and tow.
I approach the unicorn and bow deeply. Common?
I do, and Elvish, if you prefer.
And I switch to Elvish. I say,
Do
what
you
does-
speak Elvish?
Oh,
Okay.
I'm listening. That's what I checked. I was like,
Does
ooh.
Brom speak
I
Elvish?
was gonna say that Akio isn't he
I
a terrible
speak
person?
Gnome and Common.
I mean,
Brom. Oh yes, very terrible. Yes. You all have a good laugh at Brom's expense.
I just say, what is such a magnificent creature itself doing with a bunch of vagabonds like us?
These other vagabonds, as you put them, saved my life. They cured a disease that was inside of me and cleared the nightmare from my head.
That's
Literally.
That's a story I'd love to hear more about. Another time, are you going to be journeying with us long term, or do you have somewhere else?
I will be traveling with you for a month. Duty. As a repayment. I will be helping you in a more passive capacity, but I'll still be helping you.
Not knowing what's going on.
That was what they cleared out of her.
Okay, they're speaking back and forth, and I'll go. Yes, this here is Ilona Visorum.
Eluna.
Iluna, is that Iluna?
Ilona is technically the name of my goddess.
Oh wait, crap.
Sorum would be preferable.
Unicorn.
That is my full name, but I'm just clarifying for the elf.
Well,
She
that's
gestures
worse.
with her hooves,
Last
with her
name
horn. Yeah.
I just like the idea the random hoof comes up. You know, in a movie when they try to do like animal hands,
Yeah.
it's always like on a stick, and it's just
Yeah,
like a
it's
hoof
just
on it,
way
but you can
out,
still see
yeah.
the stick.
Yeah. Mhm. So you may call me whatever you'd like. It is all part of my.
So Ilona was the.
Ilona is
Goddess.
the minor nature goddess
Okay.
that she basically not worships but basically follows, and then Visorum is technically her name.
Okay.
But she is like it's like Visorum, daughter of Ilona,
I
kind
gotcha.
of thing.
I
Like
gotcha.
it's a last name but first. It's her name first kind
Gotcha.
of situation.
Got it.
Say,
It's like
well,
Jack Wolf.
we're
Yeah.
honored to have you.
I am honored to be here. Although this is not exactly what I was expecting. Is there a way out of here?
Yes, and follow me.
Great. And you get a couple stairs taking a unicorn out of the Tinker's Guild.
Yeah.
Not too many. Not as many as you're expecting because it's obviously like it's the Tinker's Guild.
Yeah,
Things like this happen. all
I've
the
seen
time.
Stranger Things.
One of like the
After you pass, one of the tinkers walks by and goes plebs, and he flips the switch, and the stairs go like escalator.
Yeah.
It is the Tinker's Guild.
There's
like,
another one that like runs up and it's like, oh my gosh, those animatronics are amazing. Like, how did you get it to work? And then you have to explain that no, this is a real unicorn. It's not a fake. But you eventually do get her outside, and she says, "Thank you. I'm just more comfortable in the open." And out in the open, she is getting a lot more stairs. Waterdeep is not.
Right.
Don't touch her. Don't look her in the eye. If you're not a virgin, if you look her in the eye, she'll turn you to dust immediately. I'm gonna be telling that to all the little.
I don't think he's being entirely truthful about who I am.
How many little kids hide their eyes?
All of them.
One, but it's because he doesn't like. He thinks that
funny.
holding hands is like considered
Yep.
fifth base, and yeah.
Oh no.
There's 5 bases now? Oh boy.
It is D&D.
Really bad.
It's the
Yeah,
5
D-
planes,
D&D,
actually.
yeah,
it's
D&D
not bases,
is-
it's
yeah,
planes.
planes.
Yeah.
If you'd like it.
I got
You're
second
here
plane.
at level 1, which is holding hands. Level 2 is smooching. What's level 17? Don't you dare ever go to level 17. You stay away from that.
If you want to meet our
I just
friend here,
want
we'll be charging 1 gold coin apiece, and you may be able to get his hoof print, signed autograph, and all this different things.
Just don't
Everybody
touch
starts like scattering. Nobody wants to pay for the unicorn.
Rats.
And
I tried.
A gold
Soren
is a
turns
lot
to
of
you
money to these-
and goes,
to
"Does-
those people.
I don't think your friend knows that I'm a female either.
No, I was gonna say, I don't believe that she is so much of a
You would have the
sideshow
best. You would have the
attraction
best
as-
vantage to know anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't be looking at out of respect for you.
So did everybody but Tavish? I'm Thornock and was it Gorg? Because we were watching Fantasy
Yeah.
Eye. And right now Lunaire are just following the majority.
It's very low to the ground.
But did Akio and Braum? I know you went outside because you were talking about.
Yeah.
Did you go outside? Okay.
Actually, I'll wait for Tavish.
Alright. So Tavish and Furlong,
Professor.
yeah, Professor, come back and
Nickname: the Professor.
Yeah, they're each holding like a sash, right? You've got one in your hands, and he's got one that he's kind of like got in both of his hands that he's waddling along with, and he stops and he goes, "Where's the rest of your party?"
They
Alright.
just they left.
All right, give me a moment, and he sets the sack down.
Don't worry, they're odd fellows.
And he goes over to like
Not like us, tinkerers.
and starts like cranking down this thing, and it comes down with a little speaker, and he goes, "Could the other members of the Order of the Broken Spear please report back to Professor Furlong's office?" It doesn't come through as a loudspeaker.
Oh.
Instead,
It's a hanging can on a string. That starts
a mechanical bird comes down, lands on Brahm's shoulder, opens its mouth, and screeches that out as loud as it can.
Oh my! Oh my!
Yeah.
Or the Sorum. Seems to be thing is required. Will you be okay?
I should be fine.
Okay. Please let us know.
I will find you once you leave the city.
Perfect. Do you have a method to find us then?
Yes.
All right. Well, perfect. Wow, that's
Have
creepy.
to
But,
go.
well, thank you.
My planet hates me.
Terrible Hanna-Barbera animation. She leaves.
But she does that. Takes off
It's not
first,
not
right?
Charlie the Unicorn.
Maybe.
Only
go
two
back
of the
in.
unicorns.
The llama.
Charlie actually walks normally.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
The other two ones.
Alright, so you guys head back inside. And keep wanting to call him different names. Professor says, "Oh, good, you're back. On behalf of the Tinkerers Guild, I wanted to say that Tavish has kind of informed me of what you guys are doing, and I wanted to see if there's anything that we can help. Obviously, we can't do much. We're not really fighters. We're more just diggers. But we do have a few things for you to pick from, sort of failed experiments or experiments that we have no use for at this point that we wanted you to do. Unfortunately, without identifying them, I don't know what they do. So I'm going to just give you a choice. You can take what you want. One from each pile seems good for everybody. And we can kind of go from there, and then we at the Tinkerers Guild will work on other ways that we can assist you in the future. Tavish, of course, has already picked his item from the pile. Well, I gave him a separate item, but the rest of you will get one of these. And he opens up the bag that Tavish was holding, and it has a few items inside of it, which I will get to just as soon as... So it has a set of bracers, a circlet, which is a kind of like a small crown, a pair of goggles, a horn, a javelin, 2 different rings, and
A horn like a
a horn like glowing horn. Yep,
Okay.
and a
Horn of Gondor.
A robe and a coil of rope.
I say, thank you, Professor. Very generous.
These are the more useful items. The other sack is more of random stuff that may help, but we're not quite sure. But these are the most useful effects that we can.
And we're to choose one.
Yes, please.
I look at the rings. Are there any distinctions?
So one
Be
is
careful.
made
Rings.
of copper, and the other one is made of gold.
It seems like an easy choice. I don't suppose you can tell me anything about what the experiments were attempting with these rings before.
These are all. I guess the best way to put it is these are all leftovers of. One of my associates was attempting to refine the process of disenchanting items, turning them to residuum and making it so that it's a more robust process and we get more out of it. Once he had found the proper method, he had a few other magic items laying around that he just needed to get rid of. The other items are all random experiments from some of our younger Tinkers members. So, unfortunately, I'm not really sure what the experiments were. And I'll show you those ones later, but I don't want to. These are the useful items. The other ones are
I feel
possible.
like the safe bet is the rope. You guys care if I take the rope? Alright, I'm gonna take
Okay.
the rope.
Grab the rope.
Sorry, no jerky for you.
But I'm so pretty.
I say, I'll take the ring. You don't mind, thank you.
Which ring?
The gold.
You try to pocket the other one, the gold ring?
Oh, only one? I should try and sleight of hand. But no, he's being generous.
Don't want to offend in the house of Gond.
You dare desecrate the House of Gond? Yeah, okay. So
Shush. Jeez, guys.
you take the gold ring. You took the rope.
So there's the bracers, there's the robe.
Gonna bark again.
Yep.
No, the horn.
Yep. So what's left is bracers, circlet, goggles, horn, javelin, one ring, and a robe.
Well, I'm curious about the robe and the
Okay.
Didn't you take the rope? Or the two
what
ropes?
they
Sorry.
I took
what
rope.
the-
Like a
Oh, rope.
mostly probably the circlet and the bracers.
So the circlet is just kind of this iron band that can sit on your head, and you said the robe. The robe appears to be. It's a robe that has a lot of like you're kind of looking through it, and it has on the inside. It's got a very deep pocket.
And
The bracers, they've got a lot of etchings on them. Usually, it looks like a lot of directional arrows. Shiniest would be the circlet out of all of them.
I'll take this
Okay, so you took the circlet.
because I like shiny things, as you can see from my component pad, which is obviously circlet.
Here. Does somebody want to pick for Thornock?
Javelin.
the javelin. I think the javelin. Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems like the option.
And then should we? Well, I guess Lunar's
Yeah, she'll be right down, I'm sure.
assuming she probably won't. Unless she already has.
Do you want to pick an item too? Because I know we gave you your other one, but
No, I'm okay with what I got.
you'll get one from the other set too.
It seems that I have broken.
Unless this can be from the other set. The one we talked
Sorry.
about.
No, not really.
Okay.
API reference
I
already?
just feel bad that you don't get to pick a
Character note
random
not
item.
set.
Ah!
I'm trying to make my character notes here.
You've
Please.
broken. Yeah, call.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
So we're going to pause here for a moment while we're waiting for Lunar to come down.
Are we gonna do some
Are we
ASMR?
furries? We're pawing.
Yes, you're
pausing.
you're pausing. And we'd like to take this moment to remind you that Preston has extra life or something, right?
Extra life. Yes, we're doing extra life. Currently, we have actually received $35 in donations so far this year. That means that we are 3.5% away from our goal of $1,000.
Nice.
Which That's going to be going on all year, and that ends in well, it's really the end of the year, December 31st. But continue doing that year round. And that's open. So if you're interested in either donating, sharing, or being a part of the team, or you can get information on fuzzy-squirrel.tv down in the description.
Perfect. And that description will be on YouTube for anybody who happens to watch it on YouTube.
As soon as I get around to doing it.
Yes. Lunaire.
What have I missed?
Professor Furlong, the gnomish professor that helps you guys get into Meyerwind and back again, has found Ari and basically brought the team back together. And he is offering you an item, a magic item of sorts that he doesn't know exactly what it is. So there's a few items left on the table. Everybody else has been kind of picking the items that they want. There is a set of bracers, a pair of goggles, a horn, like a horn, not a javelin that got taken by Thornock.
Of course.
Yep, I think that's the perfect one for him because he would have gone for the weapon immediately.
Oh yeah.
There is a copper ring and a robe.
Still Professor.
Oh, boy.
Professor. Yeah.
I think I want to go for the bracers.
The bracers? Okay, so you pick the bracer. And he says, if you'd like, we can bring somebody in to identify the items. It's just that the rest of these are immediately going to be smelted down.
That would be wonderful. Yeah.
Because obviously we don't take any sort of time to deliberate here at the Tinker's Guild. And he picks up the rest of them and he tosses them into a bin, and you just hear them go clunk, clunk, clunk. Yep. And then
wait, I wanted the other ring.
You may have.
Hey.
No, you'll be good with your choice, actually. So next he pulls out the other sack, the one that he brought in. He says, now again, these are the weirder items that you may or may not have any use for, but they could be useful to you in some way. And he opens it up, and there is a strange variety of items on the table. But before we get to that, I need you to roll me 2D 100. You can either do the 2 percentile dice, or you can use Scott's golf ball.
That electro boom day is.
I already rolled that. So.
No way.
Yeah.
85.
85, roll it again.
Hey, girl.
Oh, that one.
29.
29. Okay, just a moment here. I have to go see that. How's your party?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of pie did you have?
S'more flavor. Basically, roasted marshmallow, graham cracker crust, and then, chocolate. And, yeah, it was good. Really good.
You said it was 29, right?
Yeah, 85.
Well, no, not plus 29. There's
Fine.
two different things.
Of course he did.
I'm missing my dog right now. Ate some garlic.
Garlic
And the
farts.
Samson. Not the garlic farts, garlic shot. Both ends.
All right. So
Glad I
what
don't have a
is
dog.
in this pile of riffraff, rigmarole, and random shite is you try to stretch things out. There's a spoon.
Full of sugar?
Nope, just a spoon, a wooden spoon. There is a jar with kind of a pickled sort of looking fluid in it, and an eyeball.
Pickled
There
eyeball.
is a belt. There is a hollowed out turtle shell. A lens. A set of dice. a stack of bound papers. That one. A kind of this very gossamer looking veil. And there's like a candle of wax. Or like a wax candle. And the last one I need to read up here.
Is it from Shrek's ear?
Lost earwax.
Maybe.
Wrong was a great movie.
I haven't watched that yet.
I watch it every year. All three
Oh,
extended.
and
Every December.
a hand axe that looks like it has a head of ice.
Boy.
Oh,
Say
And
that
it's
again.
A hand axe that has a head of kind of grayish ice.
Gossamer Veil, hand
I'm gonna
axe.
let him out so they can.
Lots of other things.
I know the two that I'm.
You want them all again?
Stop. Wait.
You want them all again?
I bet Thornok goes with
He wants to immediately pick the other weapon.
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Stick. Unless Lunera gets to it first.
I mean, that's completely up to you. Again, one item is probably good. The rest are going to be melted.
Thornok is busy looking at his javelin, so if anyone else wants to take the weapon.
Thornok gets to pick last.
then we take it
okay.
down.
You're not here. You don't get to pick first. So.
I'm on the papers or the eyeball. I don't know.
Does the eyeball now, I don't know if this is play or not. Did we ever see those in the hags thing? That creepy eyeball that was looking
I mean,
at us?
there's various. The creepy eyeball that was looking at you at the end of that adventure.
Really?
Oh, that was in
No.
the scry thing.
That was the scrying. thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
got
not
it.
this.
I thought it was like the jar in the ceiling
No.
or something.
Nope.
Yeah.
I think I'll take the belt.
The gun? Alright.
The belt of storm giant string.
With the belt of dwarf
Which would
kind,
be
she's doing
completely
her own
wasted
beard.
on me.
Yeah,
All right.
I was leaning towards the belt with a lens. What's the lens look
You're gonna
like?
see a half elf with a beard.
Is there anything distinctive about it? Like if
That's
I
the
take it up
secret
and look
about
for it, I
dwarven
see
women.
anything?
It's the beard. That's how you can tell.
If it's sleeper.
No, if it's non-existent. If it's trouble or whatever.
So you put it on and
Oh wait, I mixed the two words.
you see that it's faceted, but you can't see anything specific as you're looking through the lens.
I want it.
You take the lens.
Paper.
Put the paper in the jar with that.
Probably
Mixing magic
scroll.
items never hurt anyone.
So again, for
papers.
anybody who's on the fence still, there's a wooden spoon, the eyeball in the jar. There is a hollowed out turtle shell, a set of dice. I'm gonna say bone dice because that's usually what they make dice out of. There is a
Gossamer
pile of
veil.
papers. Let me say what that one thing was that I was even looking up. Oh, the hand axe. The hand axe with the thing of ice. A kind of a gossamer veil, and then a candle made of obviously wax.
I will take the papers.
You will take the papers?
I'll take the bone back.
Yeah.
Alright, so the other one.
If they're weighted, then you can totally just screw
What does
people and make
Lunera
a lot of
pick?
money.
You got turtle shell left. You got
And
Hand axe, the eye, the spoon, the veil, and the candle.
turtle shell.
I kind of want the shell, yeah. Because I was thinking about the bone dice, and then I'm
Oh,
like,
you can have bonus.
Deal.
You didn't get to choose last time. Or you can.
you sure?
Okay, Lunera has the dice.
I'll take the dice.
Do the spoons have googly eyes?
Not
Does the
currently.
Is the eye a googly eye?
I believe.
It's like flat on one side, bubbled, and it's kind of like.
I mean, it is pickled.
Could be.
The eyeball would creep Brom out. The spoon, the gossamer veil. Axe probably wouldn't end.
The turtle shell.
Turtle shell, I'm intrigued. How big is the turtle?
It's a small turtle shell.
It's not a turtle shell. It's a
Dang
turtle
it!
shell.
It's not like this reminds me of my friend.
Could be like your full shield.
In fact,
I
as
had
the one
I had a
thing
Nomori
that Furlong
named
says, he
Dimble
goes,
who used
that shell won't do much.
his old pet turtle
Yeah.
that died.
Unfortunately, like out of all the items, I recognize that one from my
Because it's like a
student.
tortoise.
It holds 10 pounds of weight in water. It doesn't really do anything
The shell.
super exciting.
I can
Yes.
think of things.
It got an
10
F.
pounds worth of water.
Was it Master
10
Wu?
pounds.
Hey, could hold 10 pounds of ale.
Water.
Oh.
I think he's saying like it will float in the water.
10 pounds, you
10
say?
pounds of stuff.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, I thought he meant 10 pounds.
And I was like, I could use that to wake people up. I could.
I mean, if
Set
you
it as
want
a
it,
trap.
it's got 100 other uses. It's a normal turtle shell.
10
It's
pounds.
like a bowl.
That's only
I'll go with
that's a
the-
gallon of water.
I'll go
Roughly.
with the wooden spoon.
Okay.
I'm good.
You go with the wooden spoon.
It will help you eat.
All right,
faster.
so we're gonna go ahead and
We can hold 10 pounds of food.
the next little bit is sort of going to be glossed over because we're just going to tell you what magic items you got now. Basically, Furlong calls in a identifying specialist and kind of goes over the different items with you. No, none of them are the deck of many things. We don't need that.
Dang it.
So, Lunera,
I thought Carter needed
because
it.
you picked the bracers.
I missed that from my last campaign.
Yeah.
Tried every noble. I was like, hey,
Ooh, you want to pull?
would you like to pull a card? Because you can get riches and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. I think we talked one into it,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't remember what happened.
He got left behind
These
the streets.
And then one of the players pulled one and got sucked into a
Um,
dark dimension. We had to go save him.
I want the document.
These are bracers of archery, actually. They require attunement, but while you're wearing the bracers, you have a proficiency with a long and short bow, and you gain a +2 bonus to damage rolls on ranged attacks made with such weapons.
Very nice.
Okay.
So you'll want to look that up in the D&G.
Does
Too
anybody-
bad that didn't count for the rifles.
Does anybody
Yeah.
use a bow? I have a bow. I rarely use it.
I have a bow, but I'm proficient. I
The,
just have it.
I'm
Again,
highly proficient.
the
bracers will make you
give you
proficient.
proficiency
Yeah.
Give you
when you're
proficiency.
attuned.
But then I'd have to attune either
Yeah.
Luckstone,
Yeah, they acquire
the
attunement.
healing
Acquire
staff,
attunement.
or my.
Brom. Your
Christmas.
circlet. It is Christmas. You received a circlet of blasting.
Whoa.
While wearing the circlet, you can use an action to cast the Scorching Ray spell with it. When you make the spell's attack, you do so with a +5 attack bonus, and then you cannot use it again until the next dawn.
Dude, so you're like Vision. You just shoot the scorching
Yep.
right out of your head.
So as he identifies it, he kind of clears away
that
some of the
gemstone
magic, and you
you
see that
charge
there's a
only.
small ruby
Oh, yeah.
that is set in the top. Or it's a gem of your choosing. Actually.
Shiny. Brom likes blues and purples. Perhaps.
Amethyst. Okay. Next, Thornock is technically next on the list, and I'm assuming you guys want to know what he got too.
What did we get?
Javelin of destruction.
Get him open.
Actually, he got a javelin of lightning.
If it's a chaotic evil,
It talks to him.
I'm gonna
And
break it over
Everyone
my
picks
knee.
it up, and we're like, no. And then he's like,
That.
Pick it up and he's like, broken spear! As soon as he picks it up and he's looking at it, I use the message spell in his ear and be like,
Hello, darkness.
He does
my-
throw it across the room, and that's actually what basically shows that this is a
hits the wall and
magic weapon. Yeah, when you
Nice.
hurl it and speak the command word, which is somebody write that down so I don't forget it. It transforms into a bolt of lightning, forming a 5-foot wide line that extends from you to a target within 120 feet.
Lightning spell.
Each creature in the line, excluding you and the target, must make a DC 13 Dexterity save, taking 46 lightning on a failed save.
Nice.
And then you make the ranged weapon attack against the target. On the hit, the target takes the normal damage from the javelin plus 46 lightning.
Wow.
Javelins properly can't be used again until the next dawn.
Oh,
In
so
the
everyone's
meantime,
hit by the lightning.
still be
javelin
used
of
as a
lightning,
magic
you said?
Powerful.
So it can only be used,
Once a day.
once a day,
Still.
but it's still a magic weapon beyond that.
I added it to his
That's-
equipment.
Great.
That's a good.
Ari.
That's good
It's
for
a good
him.
ranged option.
Yeah.
It's almost.
He's a spellcaster now.
Ari.
You're a wizard, Harry.
So you ignored the other ring, and instead, you got yourself a ring of invisibility.
Oh,
Bam.
While wearing this ring, you can turn invisible as an action.
Ring goes on,
It
ring
requires
goes on.
attunement, by the way.
You see the eyes
Anything
on?
you wear or are carrying
The eyes
is
on.
invisible with you.
Oh,
And then it remains until the ring is removed, until you attack or cast a spell, or until you use a bonus action to become invisible again. It does not say that. Holy crap! This is a legendary ring, by the way. You picked the correct one.
Ring race can still see you in.
Yes, ring race can still see you.
Only if I'm wearing the one ring.
But imagine now all your stealth is just tenfold.
Hilariously, I assigned the colors to the random ones, and I didn't realize which one I should have made better. So congratulations. That is quite a fine catch
Wow.
there. Tavish obviously got his special item, which he can talk about in his own
Also-
time.
I actually asked Furlong if they were able to complete special item that...
Oh, the special request!
Yes.
I had totally forgotten about that.
I figured as much, that's why I reminded you.
Of course, thank you. And he rushes out of the room, and he comes back with a pair of boots, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. So he comes back with a pair of boots that are apparently made out of kind of this feathery fur, and he says, "Here they are. A pair of owl bear boots for you, specially enchanted as you requested."
Thank you.
So what boots was it
They
that
are
he picked for you?
the boots of speed.
Boots of speed.
While you wear these boots, you can use a bonus action, click the boots' heels together. If you do, the boots double your walking speed, and any creature that makes an opportunity attack against you has disadvantage on the attack roll. If you
Licking
click them
speed.
together, it ends the effect. When it has been used for a total of 10 minutes, it ceases to function until you finish a long rest.
Nice.
And it requires attunement. But I one of the things too is I traded my winter boots in. So they basically pulled the magic off the winter boots, and one of their mages had twisted it because I had those winter walking boots, so like we walk across ice and stuff.
Perfect.
Ari, until you unlock the full potential of this ring, you can use it once per day. I'm just going to say.
How do I unlock the full?
That is a mystery.
You have to die.
That
Ooh,
is
I can help. I'm
at,
super good with ring stuff.
You
that
die.
is at the GM's discretion because I did not realize the ultimate power that I was handing RA when I created or put this magic item
It's
on
a
the
legendary
list.
ring of invisibility.
It literally just allows you to go invisible as an action, which is insane. So once per day until you can unlock its mysteries.
If you die, you become a ring
Yes.
and serve the Dark Lord.
You know what?
You become Sonic and you have to collect all the rings.
That's better. This is a
And then
cursed
you can
ring.
go invisible as much as you
But
want.
you have to be
You
really
can put
fast.
the ring off, or you can put the ring on, but you can't take it off. And if you drop to 0 hit points while you are wearing the ring,
Oh, crap.
you are hit
Sorry.
by the reincarnate spell, and the ring is destroyed. So you get to come back to life at full health, but your race and possibly gender have changed. Thank you, Brom. That is much easier.
So gamble. Does he still get the? Is it
I mean-
invisibility.
No, it's still invisibility, and it's the normal ring of invisibility. So
Is
you
this-
get it.
How
is this
long
the
does it-
invisibility you can in greater invisibility? Where
It's
you can find
regular invisibility. It's not
them? So
greater.
when you attack
Mhm.
it, poof. Okay.
Turn
But you can
invisible
use
as
it-
an action. Anything you are wearing carrying, you remain invisible until the ring is removed, until you attack or cast a spell, or until you use a bonus action to become invisible again.
So he can use that as many times as he wants instead of once per day. But if he drops to 0 hit points at any time, the ring is destroyed and he gets reincarnated as. Who
Random.
knows?
I call that ring incarnation.
Ring incarnation. Alternate title for the episode.
I mean, a tinkerer made it, so it's got a pun, right?
And then
I
yeah,
wonder if I write his name with the Phoenix Quill while he's being reincarnated, does it split his soul in two?
Ooh, we got 2 REs. You have to play 2 characters.
Now we can
Do you,
double you
do you
up.
retain your memory when you get
Yeah.
reincarnated?
Yeah.
Okay. She'd be like, guys, I'm Ari. No, you're not. And just beat the crap out of you.
Some little kid, that little kid from the alley.
fuck you.
What?
Yes.
You're the last one on the
Problem
list. You picked the rope,
I did.
which is a rope of climbing.
All right.
This 60-foot length of silk rope weighs 3 pounds and can hold up to 3,000 pounds.
Oh, snap.
If you hold one end of the rope and use an action to speak the command word, which is now ding ding, the rope animates. As a bonus action, you can command the other end to move towards a destination you choose.
Ding ding.
That end moves 10 feet on your turn when you first command it, and 10 feet on each of your turns until reaching its destination, up to its maximum length away, or until you tell it to stop.
So it pulls
You
you
can
along.
also tell the rope to fasten itself securely to an object, or unfasten itself to a knot, or unknot itself, or to coil itself for carrying. If you tell the rope to knot, a large knot appears at 1 foot intervals along the rope. While knotted, the rope shortens to 50-foot length and grants advantage on checks made to climb it. And then it's got hit points and AC and stuff.
Does that mean you can be like at the bottom of a cliff? And
Yeah.
My rope
tell it
has
to
hit
go
points?
up,
If it-
it'll climb
go
its
up
way
and
up.
attach to a
complex.
rock, and it will.
Rope guy.
And then turn yourself into a bunch of knots.
Yeah, the knots are to help with the climb.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool.
Ding ding coil.
And it coils in your hand.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Is it this kind of coil, or is it the bundle and then it's wrapped around itself?
It goes like.
Now on to the magic items that I know you are here for. The common magic
Can
items.
I put a magic item in a bag of holding? That won't do anything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
As
it's
long
only-
as it doesn't have a pocket dimension in the item.
Correct.
I don't think it does.
Don't put a bag of holding inside a bag.
Wait,
of
I knew that.
Or a bag of devouring. Inside
Or a bag of devouring.
Yeah.
Or a bag of devouring.
Or the monstrous book of
What's
monsters.
that pocket? The,
Or a
the
mimic.
handy haversack,
Handy haversack, portable hole.
portable,
Yep.
Thornock's toolbox.
Yeah, Thornock's toolbox, which is just a
Toolbox
different
holder.
type of bag of holding. Alright, so Brom, which got auto-corrected in here to Brain.
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 You picked the spoon first.
Spoon.
So this is the Corin spoon. This is not going to be in... None of these items are going to be in. You'll have to make them as custom items. Because these are a homebrew list of common magic
Corin,
items.
C-O-R-R-I-N.
K-O-R-I-N.
Okay, got it.
And this wooden spoon can check if a food is poisonous once per day. It will basically... It's got a little skull on the end that will light up for you. A little carved wooden skull.
Handy.
Ari, you picked the belt, which is a filled belt. F-J-E-L-D, however you want to say that. Field.
Field.
This gray leather belt increases the... It says attuned, but I'm not doing attuned for this because these are all... Yep. It increases your carrying capacity by 10 pounds.
Alright.
So
It is a belt
you,
of strength.
you tie it around and you tie it tight and you just feel a little extra tone, you know.
Can I make a request? Could it, since I'm already wearing a sash, could it be a sash for flavor, and then I'll just like twine my sashes? And...
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Field.
You need a third sash, and then you can braid them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. How do you add a custom?
You gotta make a...
Tavish.
Manage inventory. Click on at the very bottom. Click on
Custom
inventory.
items.
Yep.
There we go.
Tavish, you picked the lens.
I did.
So this is, or these are, like you're kind of fiddling with them and you find that they actually pop out. And you can use them as one or two, however you want. This is a mantis lens.
Okay.
Is it better at one
Or
two?
two. These multi-lensed glasses, multifaceted basically, allow you to allow the wearer to see through 10 feet of fog or smoke as if it wasn't there.
Wow.
Nice.
This has been another exciting edition of I Give You Fun Stuff.
This just means we have a stronger
Best
enemy
use.
coming up. That's all this means.
Yeah, it's just like, we gotta prepare him.
Gotta buff him up a little
It's
bit.
a good thing I can carry 10 extra pounds, or else that dragon would have killed me.
Lunara, you picked the dice. This is a set of lordly dice. This set of 6-sided dice glitters when a 6 is rolled.
Glitters?
They just like, you roll a 6 and they all kind of start shining a little
It's like
brightly.
throwing a natural...
It's like rubbing it in their
He
face.
really wanted the dice.
I know.
He was
I
gonna
was
take them.
I was curious.
Lit up, but it's
The turtle shell wasn't any better, so...
A 6. Ching. Sparkle, sparkle.
Sparkle.
Open and show us something like show water breathing. Put it on your head.
Breathe water.
You can't see, but you can breathe underwater.
So,
They can hold 10
you
pounds of water,
picked-
remember?
I gave you yours.
The
You picked
papers.
the papers.
Yeah.
So this is Visage Pyrus is the name of it.
Okay.
Basically, when the pages of this in this stack are burned, the writing becomes a movie of sorts in the smoke. So you see images of what was written as sort of a visual story in the smoke.
So, along with getting drunk, you can now get high.
So is it a single use?
Yeah, basically
many
it's a
pages
stack
are
of
there?
250 pages.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I have 250 uses essentially.
Yep.
And is it like already written on, or like I write and then throw it in?
They're all blank.
Okay.
So you are
can
the
entertain.
inventor of the motion picture.
Yes.
Yes.
And then
As close as I'll ever
finally,
get.
Thornock picked the axe, obviously. And it is literally just a hand axe that has a permanent icy head. There's no magical qualities to it. It acts as a normal hand axe, but it's not magical.
It's worth money.
Yeah, the magical quality is that the head is made of ice.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like cold magic or anything like that. It's literally just like some tinker wanted to prove that he could freeze.
You have good
make a frozen
persuasion.
head of max.
You have good persuasion, right?
Yeah.
We could
No,
con
he
someone
does.
into buying it for a lot of money.
And Furlong, of course, took the other magic items
Oh,
away and
that's right
tossed
then.
them into the recycling bin.
If I wanted to persuade him, I rolled a 2, 15.
And he goes, "This has been another exciting edition of I Give People Stuff. I enjoy it. I hope you all
Thank you.
are satisfied.
Thank you,
Sam.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I do have a few experiments that I need to check on, and I don't want to leave you in here alone."
Thornock's over
Thank
like
you.
prodding something.
Yeah, he's literally like putting his hand into a Tesla coil and getting shocked.
What was my
What is this sauce?
rope word again?
Ding ding ding.
Okay.
Ding.
There we go. Okay.
And somebody wrote down the javelin's word, right? Okay.
Yeah. Ah!
It's kind of more the back of the throat, like.
No. Ah, as in surprise and alarm.
Oh, you mean yes, that's it. All right, perfect. So you guys head out of the Tinker's Guild. New magic items in tow. Some of you happier than others, I'm sure. Your dice really aren't that impressive, are they? But you are all along your way. Sorry.
Apparently I have a long way.
So you guys are out of the Tinker's Guild. You're starting to walk back towards your inn when the doors fly open, and Professor Furlong comes out and he goes, Tavish, hold on just a second.
Yep.
I am very forgetful today, and he puts up his goggles and wipes his eyes away and goes, I have something that I need you to test for me. Something that I hope you will be able to test. And he pulls out a small iron statue. And he says, "This is for you." And you look at it, and it's actually an iron statue of a boulette.
Okay.
You know, for those of you who don't know what a boulette is, they are land sharks.
I was gonna say it's a French word for bullet.
Yeah. He says, that.
And I thought you said oubliette.
It's remarkable
Labyrinth.
craftsmanship.
Thank you.
It's
I
a
did it
hole in the
myself.
floor where you
Do
throw
I see
prisoners.
some oubliette
An oubliette.
Yes.
gears inside?
Yes. It is a clockwork construct that actually expands when you speak the command word and acts as sort of a guardian.
Okay.
It helps you out.
Is it animated while in such a small form as well?
Oh yes, of course. And he taps it and he goes, "Come on then!" And it starts it shakes its head a little bit, and then it jumps onto the ground and kind of dives under one of the stones and kind of cracks it. And probably don't let it do that in the city. That's a lot of maintenance damage.
All right. So I'll reach and I'll underneath the stone and grab it by the tail basically
And it
and
goes
take it back out.
and it does exactly what your dog does when you grab it by the tail. Yeah.
Like that, see?
Oh, the sound effects are so real.
It's like we're actually there. And he says, I don't know if you've ever heard of anything like an onyx dog or any of the other magical figurines. I wanted to see if one could be done. Feisty little thing, isn't it?
Yes.
I wanted to see if one will be done in a more clockwork fashion for you. It may not respond to commands right at first. It needs to get to know its user, but I thought it might be helpful for you guys as well.
Is there a specific command word, or is it something I?
You know, I haven't set the command word yet, so feel free to pick that out at your leisure.
Here, Shep.
And he goes
Shepherd.
through his pockets and he's like, "Is there anything else?"
Take his glasses and put them back on his.
Of course. And then he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out a. It almost looks like a crayon box, and he hands it to you and he goes, "Here you go. I have no more use for this." And he just drops it on the ground and walks away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Odd.
It's the crayons of strength.
Well, I guess I'll just go ahead and
If you eat the
pick it
crayons.
up and
If you color
open
on
it.
The non-toxic
So you
Crayola
open it
of
and
strength.
you see that there are several sticks of chalk inside.
Oh, explosive chalk.
Does he think I'm a child?
You did pick the dice, to be fair.
Look, I bone, demon, devil, whatever the hell you want to call me.
Can you identify what that is?
I don't have identified.
Good
Let's do it. No, I'm not a utility guy.
Don't you have identify in one of those books, spell books that you've gotten over the years?
Try to draw something on the wall.
yeah,
so
but
it comes to life.
I thought the way that we did it was I would have to
Actually,
swap
Fruity
out
Land.
one of my spells for it.
No, you can put.
What?
Well, you have to
Fruity Land.
prep you have to prep your
Rick
spell
and Morty.
each day.
Every
So
day.
you would have
Yeah.
to. You would have to take
Or
out one.
across
Of
the
them.
chalk.
But you should be able to write that in
I'll
your
have to look
spell
over
book.
that list.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Look into it and see.
If
just in
I have
case.
it, I'll have it.
I'm gonna draw me seats.
So
I got
write
an
down
idea.
Unidentified chalk.
Draw a line, and I'll jump over it and see if it explodes.
I was thinking of just
Chocolate
handing
morning.
it to you because maybe you could do like magical symbols
All right, I'll
If-
try it.
ever need
I
be.
will take one chalk and draw an arcane rune on the floor.
Okay.
Let me get you the colors of chalk. I wasn't expecting this
yeah,
quite yet.
yeah.
So let's
We
see
try
here.
things out right away.
A 3-city block is now extinguished from existence.
All right, open a portal to
Yeah,
hell.
you probably shouldn't just randomly do that. So there is
That
a
doesn't mean-
red chalk, a green chalk, a blue chalk. That's in there
Oh,
twice.
You got purple
A
chocolate.
purple, a yellow,
I grab purple.
and an orange.
Obviously, right?
Yeah, I grab the purple chalk.
So what symbol do you?
I don't know. Let's do like a protection
Gust.
symbol.
Gust.
Something that's not gonna hurt.
Then a
anybody.
tornado.
So
Protection.
Like a protection rune or something.
you don't really, nothing really happens. There's a protection rune in there that you could pump magic into, but
Probably just chalk. I lick it though, just to be. Gotta use all your senses.
it tastes magical.
Ooh, like a little.
9-volt battery.
So you want to write down the colors, by the way. For once you get them identified.
Okay.
Write them down like fuchsia, mauve, cyan.
Salmon.
Salmon.
It's solid.
Go play with your bullet.
Salmon.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
He's tugging on my bag of holding.
If he rips that, the world ends.
Or everything just spills out. That's one of the two. It's like a 50-50 chance.
I'll play
say
tug. I'll play
green?
tug with the
Red,
bag
green,
of devouring instead.
blue, purple, yellow, orange.
So basically the colors of the rainbow.
Hey, yeah.
Oh my god!
Rainbow chalk. You can write it down as rainbow chalk.
You
All right.
have LGBT chalk.
So you guys are.
I can summon leprechauns maybe.
Oh, that
If
would
I
be
do
cool.
that.
Just grab them all.
Yeah.
Just gonna say rainbow. Doom, doom.
Oh yeah. The more you
The
know.
more you
I-
know.
I summon, what's his name?
Lamar.
LeVar Burton.
Yeah.
Come, Jordy.
Yes. I summon him. Raining rainbow.
Who is this guy? Where am I?
It's either that or like Bob Ross, right?
Yeah.
It's a happy
Yeah.
dream. Yeah.
So, after a very weird morning, receiving magic items from the Tinkerer's Guild, you guys head back to the inn, and you get in. The innkeeper gives you a hearty hello, asks you if you've seen any mimics lately, and chuckles and kind of does the little. Please,
Show 'em
you haven't
swim.
seen any though, right?
Show 'em
There's
swim.
none. You haven't seen any of them in the.
Not recently.
I'm gonna look
Not since
really-
here.
Oh, thank God.
I kind of look behind him and go, has that bottle always been there?
And he spins it around, and immediately, like, he brings out his towel and, like, whips the bottle, and, like, it crashes to the ground, and he goes, "Ah, the good booze!" And he starts trying to clean it up.
Good stuff. Top shelf.
He wipes it up with a rag and then wrings it back into another bottle.
Can I get it for half off?
Absolutely. Yeah, so
He pours it back into
2
half,
silver
half the
gets you rag water booze.
Perfect. That's the best
Just
kind.
how I like it.
Yep. And you guys
Backwater.
have a nice luncheon.
Gives it a little
11Z's,
extra
whatever you
food.
want to call it.
Second breakfast.
Midnight Z's. No, it's too early for midnight Z's. And then the door opens and a familiar half elf walks in, and Leosin sits down and he goes, "Have you guys been here for 2 weeks?"
I say, actually, no. We've been. We arrived and sent word, but then we were called away on a couple of different emergencies while we waited.
Good. I'm glad that you guys didn't stick around for the entire thing. That would have been a boring 2 weeks if you would have just been waiting.
Boring.
Anyway, the council is meeting today. They wish to get a report on basically what you've done and talk about next steps.
Perfect. We prepared a speech.
Maybe skip the speeches this time, just to make sure that everything goes.
I say, I'll skip the speeches if you skip the insults.
Me? I didn't do anything.
I'm speaking about
Well,
the collective you. Vosotros, as it were.
Well, I'll see what I can do, but they kind of all have a mind of their own.
Sure, we understand.
But I mean, just remember that they are sort of important people. Sort of.
Ergo,
Kind of.
assholes. That's
Yes.
what I'm hearing. Okay.
Pretty much.
I threw in the ergo just to sound.
Understood, but they should
She's
remember.
okay.
Reportedly.
I say understood, but they should remember that they asked for our help.
Yes. And they are grateful. But let's go ahead and just table that for now.
let's put a
And
pin in it.
have an enjoyable meeting where nobody pisses anybody else off.
Agreed. We won't ask for money.
That's probably the best.
Hey, it wasn't like a big ask. Like, we're saving the world. We could
I
use
agree.
a little
I agree.
financing.
That's
Okay.
why I had my speech.
Yeah, like, we're not asking to like have an.
You
unlimited
guys,
purse.
he walks you back to the main building, kind of this hall that they've been using, and they get you into the session. Now, the first session had a lot of individual desks in a kind of a wide circle, sort of like a more Senate style look you guys stood in. Now they've kind of arranged it as a council table. So there's 2 sides, and then there's a head of the table, and then at the foot of the table there are chairs for each of you. So,
the little
an
kids'
improvement.
table next to the big one.
Oh, you have your chop.
so you see that the table is mostly everybody's kind of set up by station or by kind of the more important ones are towards the head of the table. You do notice that Lord Never Ember, who was the Open Lord of Waterdeep, has been replaced at the head of the table. He is still here, but he is no longer the head. That is a lady, Lariel Silverhand, which she is. We can put her at the head of the table, and this is basically.
AG.
Dagger never remember.
Yeah, Daggolt sits to her right.
That was a real name.
Yep.
Daggle never
Ron
remember.
Anvil.
Daggolt.
He's from the
Oh,
Mithril Hall.
Daggolt.
So we've got Daggolt, Never Ember.
She looks like my
Marshall
type.
Older from the Red
I mean,
Guard.
Arceus type.
So she's
She's at the head. You can put her you can put them however you want. If you want them facing out or facing to her right.
her right.
Yep.
Okay.
And then there is
Terror Thunder Spells and Stormblade. Considered removed. Estelle from Colmere.
King Melindrak is there.
Surprised I could actually find this in my notes.
Good. Is he the Wood Elf King?
Which one? The
Yes.
King. Yeah, Misty Forest.
He is King.
King of the Misty Forest. We've got Hayern Hornblade.
He looks like George
City of
Washington.
Silvery Moon.
Yep, representing
Because it is
Silvery
George
Moon.
Washington.
There is a woman that you guys have not seen before here. That she doesn't have a picture. Lord Istavel.
Isabel from Cormyr.
Yep.
Most above human.
What?
Most of above are human.
Okay.
Never mind. Ignore that.
Most
Like-
above.
Oh, most of them.
I thought
are
he was like
humans.
the most above human. I was like, what the heck
What does that mean?
You've got Ambassador Conrad Braun Anvil, which you said was from
They threw a hall.
Mithril Hall.
Oh, that's so cool. He looks like Thor.
You've got Marshal Older Ravengard.
That one.
Ravenclaw.
Baldur's Gate Flaming Fist. Marshal Older.
Oh, so you probably had some run-ins with him back in here.
You've got Delane Winterhound,
That is a
representing
cool
the
name.
Emerald Enclave. Your good friend is at the end of the table here, Onthar Froom, the leader of the Order of the Gauntlet. He gives Ari a respectful nod as you come in. And then on the other side, giving Brum a curt nod as well, is Ramalia Haventree, the representative of the Harpers.
And where are we? Did we just come in?
Yep, you guys come in and just sit down on the other end.
Give her a smile and a bow.
She gives you a smile and a bow. Right?
Ding, ding. Rope.
The professor.
Well, it starts tying somebody up right now. No.
Ding, ding, Lady Haventree. Crap.
I don't want to do
I'm gonna
that.
go to jail. I'm gonna go to jail.
All right. So the council members are all kind of milling about a little bit, starting to get into their positions as you guys enter. They all kind of give you a varying degree of respectful nods to grumpy, scornful looks, which is just kind of the average for everybody. You get a few more scornful looks just because. Just because.
Just because.
Where's Braun?
Sorry.
Brom's gonna be right on the table.
Oh, my cat's in pocket dimension.
You don't want her there?
You know, not amongst the nobles. It might be a little rude, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. The
What is
Buret's
this
in
mangy cat
the
doing here?
Bag of holding
Who said
as
mangy?
well.
All right. And if anybody needs any sort of refresher on kind of their attitudes or what they are trying to, or what they potentially can bring to the table, at the back of the cards do have information on what they are promising and the like.
I would read all of these, but we don't have time.
Yeah, you can read them as we go if you want. So the Lady Silverhand, after everybody is seated, says, "Thank you all for agreeing to a second meeting here. We would especially like to recognize our noble champions of the Order of the Broken Spear, who have been our field agents, mainly in our quest, and welcome them back. And we also recognize and welcome our esteemed guest, Elia." And she nods to the human with very silvery hair, who is a D100. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And she says, to begin, we would like
very
the
silvery hair.
it's another Accio.
It's the bad Accio attempt.
If you have a female,
that was my
it'd be
mess up.
preferable.
What was her first name again?
Elia.
Ding, ding, ding.
Elia.
I was trying to do a little salt and pepper.
All right, fine.
There we go. That's better.
Now,
She got it.
I know we have all reports to get to, so let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with our esteemed guests from the Order of the Broken Spear. Would you please tell us the results from your trip to the Sea of Moving Ice? I noticed that you didn't come back to the city with the Drakhorn.
We did not, but we did come back after having killed Arathor, the dragon who had terrorized that region.
Mm-hmm.
Seems that he had been going about and causing trouble for some of the locals. We had a chieftain of the village that we befriended, and we also found Macath.
I'm sorry, who's Macath? Asks the Braun Anvil, the ambassador.
Macath is a tiefling wizard that we were also in search of that had some information regarding the Drakhorn that we were, as we were trying to seek out information, it was imperative that we found this operative.
And Haventree, the Harper's representative, adds, she was also a member of the Arcane Brotherhood. And Braun Anvil goes, anything happened there?
Yeah.
We returned.
So long.
We were able to return a whole bunch of books and things that had been lost,
Check on
in the hopes that they might be able to find more information.
Restricted book.
We brought we were able to return her back to the Arcane Brotherhood, and they agreed to help us in some form or fashion.
You get a few surprised looks at that, and Lady Silverhand goes, "Really? You secured the Arcane Brotherhood to help us in this
Yes,
endeavor?"
indeed. We happen to have it on good confidence that they are going to help us in any way that they are able to.
Onthar kind of looks over and he goes, "Really trust those guys, though?"
Hey. I mean, yes.
Look, I trust exactly one wizard, and he's in this room.
I say,
That's
And like a couple of the King Melindrak and the guy from Silvery Moon both look at each other like,
wait.
"Which wizard? Like, I don't know what's going on here."
I say, Anthar, in times like these, we will take allies where we can go.
Of course.
I know they're not the
And
most
Braun
trustworthy,
Anvil
but-
kind of claps his hands and he says, "Taking out a dragon is no small feat. We dwarves have had a lot of dragon moots where we've hunted them down, and we kind of know how it goes, so congratulations on that."
Thank you.
Hard
And
fought victory.
Silverhand goes, "And what of Varam? I know that he was brought into the city alive?"
Indeed. We brought him with the strip of his neck. We found him. He was actually in search of some information. He had gone to the Yanti temple, and he was searching. No, it wasn't Yanti temple.
It
What
was
his name? The wizard.
that.
Found him seeking information in the place of this wizard.
The tomb
The bridge
of
city.
Didaris.
There you go.
The tomb of Didaris, and they were seeking information. We had some run-ins with some Yanti, which we have quickly dispatched of their operations. We hopefully will never hear from them again. Hopefully, and we brought him back. He seemed relatively cooperative. I assume we have scared the daylights out of him, and if he hasn't been cooperative, please let me know.
He has been very cooperative, actually. Very impressed with how things have gone. The Winter Hound kind of shakes his head and he says, "You should have just killed him. This is just going to complicate things. Trial. Whatever."
Well, we're not the execution.
I don't disagree with you. Sir. I do, but I do. Values of this.
And she turns to Haventree and she goes, "Lady Haventree, what of the...
Yeah.
Get your boulette off the council table."
Boulette!
Come here so I can shove you in a bag of
Actually, can I interrupt?
Yeah.
After Winterhound says that, I say, if there is to be a trial, or
Oh, I'm not playing, money. I'm not playing.
Chippy.
or particularly a trial by combat, I would request the honor of one to carry out his sentence.
If it comes to that, we will let you know. And Winterhound kind of gives you that kind of like nod, like he knows what you're talking. So she turns back and she says, "Haventree, have we heard back from the Zentirum about the white dragon mask?" And she goes, "Yes, and unfortunately it has fallen back into Bolt's hands. So we will have to hope that we can get our hands on another one, or any of them. Not at this time. They're looking into it, though."
So,
what's our move?
Can I
then?
have a timeout out of character?
Sure.
I'm trying to remember about the Drakehorn. We went north. We were hoping to find something there. We really didn't find much. What's her name? What was her name?
Macath.
Macath said that
The cult moved the horn.
the cult moved. That's right. They came and
They
took
came
it.
and
She
took
doesn't
it.
know where.
Yep.
Why were we going after the dwarf?
Because
like, what was
the
that lead?
He was the last one to have
We
it.
didn't have the mask.
Yeah.
They had possession of the mask, but he was looking for it, so we were trying to shut him down before he could take it.
You were actually specifically sent out to capture him.
And
Yep.
we knew where he was
Because he'd been very open about his movements after he lost the mask because he was a little frantic.
And so he was searching for it at that place, but it wasn't there.
Mhm.
And he and nobody.
Well, what he was searching for is he was searching for the pool of visions that could show him where the mask was.
Black Scale Hunters, was that part of the part of his?
The Black Scale
Or were
Hunters
that
are Luneras.
Those Luneras.
That's the bounty, the
We're going
slavers
after him? Okay.
that had captured Lunera when she first
Yeah.
appeared.
So we make sure we clarify that Kath did inform us that at one time the Dracorn was near her, but by the time we arrived, they had moved it.
All right. We've got a few other reports to go through with everybody else. In the meantime, there is a rather odd delegation in the next room that is looking to speak with you. Specifically you, Lunera. If you wouldn't mind taking care of that situation while the rest of us go over the other reports, it's all going to be boring raiding reports. Because I'm pretty sure, and she looks at everybody else at the table, that everyone here has had reports of cultists raiding their zones, and everybody nods, except for King Melindrak, who says, we've got that under control. Gets kind of a wary look from... He doesn't. Now, if you don't mind, just a few minutes, we'll call you back in and discuss the next steps.
We leave.
Okay. So you guys head out the hall. Leo Sin nods over and he says, he's in there. Good luck.
I feel like council's worthless. They haven't given us anything. They don't even they don't have any information.
Only
They don't know anything about the cult.
So
We have more information than they do.
I'll give a brief reminder on what the council is. It's not a let's fight the dragon cult. All of these people are being basically petitioned to add their forces to rally and aid in the defense of whatever the dragon cult. You guys are trying. They're sending you out on these missions because you're the active fighters. You're basically this council is sort of the Harper and the Order of the Gauntlets attempts to get everybody else on board that this is a real threat. And you guys doing these missions and everything is helping convince them or not convince them, depending on how you act. So you guys head into the next room, and you see, you've had a strange day, but this is another strange sight. There are two cultists, not in purple robes, but wearing kind of red and black, that have these sort of grinning face with the little tongue out masks on, sort of like an impish looking mask. And they are standing off to either side of the doorway as you enter. But what prominently takes up the bulk of this chamber are the four other cultists that seem to be forming a human chair for this very spiny-looking white devil.
And
They
are they're not being guarded or held prisoner here.
No. And he goes, it's about time that I've been waiting for a long time, and I don't really want to wait much longer.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Who are you?
Oh, of course, you've not met everyone yet. I am Lord Volnir. I am one of the sub-generals under General Yorganoth. I believe you remember him?
You.
Great. And this rabble is the other members of the Order of the Broken Spear, is that correct?
They are my...
He gives you all a quick eye. Not much to look at, but I've heard good things.
Well, we're in high demand, so we know our value.
Now, I have words from Yorganoth for you.
Birds.
Words. A task, if you will. There will come a time, probably soon, where someone in this silly little council will be talking about going to Thay. Are you familiar with Thay at all? History check? Anybody who wants to?
That's a 19.
Where's history?
23.
20.
20?
38.
38.
Oh, wait, no. Sorry, not 38. 28.
Okay.
I can do math.
He
9.
has a plus 18.
Mm-hmm.
So those of you who got 20 or over know a lot more information than this, but those of you who got about 15 or over kind of know the general. Thay is basically, it is a sort of high wizard sort of kingdom ruled by... Yeah, the Red Wizards of Thay are very much...
Right.
There are a few members that have been in the cult.
Necromantic.
Mhm.
Nature, right?
But more importantly, they used to be ruled by, or they are currently ruled by, a lich by the name of Zaztam. And that he basically controls the entire area. And so Lord Volmir continues and says, these red wizards, some of them are summoning from the 5th level to help out with these cultists. And Lord Yorganoth is among a few devil lords who do not wish to see Tiamat released from hell. So, if a mission to Thay comes up, you and your team will volunteer for it.
Alright, again, time out. Who's Yorganoth? Is he the guy that we fought?
He is he's the giant devil that you fought and
Right.
Lunera made the deal with.
Searcher.
That's right.
The one that shot me with fireball.
As a
Fireball.
as a casual.
And I was like, come on.
The deal was if he
You're gonna follow
stopped
it.
like fighting us, you would do something. You'd owe him a favor.
I basically.
You
That was
agreed
when-
you
that was
agreed
when
to
you-
go with him for a
Yeah,
whole week and
That's
become like a member of his.
Oh, yeah, that's
Of
right.
his
And you did
circle.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But if any of you remember anything about the Devil Lord that we put forth, when a higher devil commands a lower devil to do something, they are compelled to do it.
And so she's compelled at this point.
Yep. At this point, because she has received a command from a superior that she is directly under, if a mission for Thay comes up, you will.
I must oblige.
You must accept.
Okay. Is this a one-time thing or is this a constant, permanent thing?
I mean, if there's more than one mission to Thay, yeah, like it's if a mission to Thay comes up, you
I
will
just
accept.
mean like if we complete this mission, is she released from her obligation, or could he come back the next week and say, okay, now I have another
It depends on the compulsion that the devil gives. Usually, more specific compulsions are harder to resist, and more broad compulsions are a lot easier to break free from.
But she's essentially under his compulsion.
Yep.
So we find a way to break it.
Yeah, until
We
she
just need to get her
until
down,
she
right?
no longer is under that devil. Is basically what.
So
it is.
basically, we have to kill all of hell and make her the top one so she doesn't get compelled by anybody.
That would be one way to do it. Yes.
But let's
Okay.
not, because
Who wants to rule hell?
Well, maybe if you get
Technically-
reincarnated, you'll
technically-
come back as a paladin, and then become a paladin.
You only
of hell.
have to
Okay.
supplant her as the leader in one level, because there are 9 different levels of hell, and they don't all directly report to each other.
Okay, so we got to take over the 5th level of hell, because that's where this.
That is where she is currently
I just asked.
listed. Is I guess the best.
I just have
We
this
shall do it,
conversation
friend.
out loud.
Yeah.
Drafted.
I asked why would
Oh, I'm in.
Yorganoth
I'm in.
not
If we
want
have to- if we
Tiamat
get to kill
to
you.
be summoned to this plane of existence?
Well, she is sort of a permanent resident of hell at this point. And, she's enjoying all of our amenities, as it were. But there are a few devil lords that are eager to shift the power balance by pushing her back into it. It's all very complicated politics that I don't expect an elf to understand.
please superior, I ask that you treat my respect.
No.
Fair enough.
All of a sudden, everyone
Luckily
pulls their
for
weapons
us-
out, and he's like,
Luckily for us, we're not compelled. I wanna
"Yeah, we'll
watch
help
your
her,
tongue.
but it's our own choice,
Well, I'm just
not
saying,
because you told us to,
Yeah.
because we want to."
not that.
I say-
but if you're gonna talk
What
out of
what
turn,
what business do you have
Just
with the
makes-
cult
he
of the
just made
dragon?
list.
What are these cultists doing here?
Literally, these cultists, these are mine. These don't belong to the cult of the dragon. These are just who I contracted when I got here. If you do you have any use for them? Do you want them dead? I can kill them for you if you'd like.
Thank you for the offer. Had they been cultists of the dragon, I might have taken you.
Well, if you do find any, you can kill them. They have my permission for that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really don't like this city, so I will be leaving.
catch you on the flip side.
And he stands up and at a full like 2-head height over Thornock, barely like scraping along the ceiling, and he's just kind of like
Seem bigger.
all skin, all like very skinny limbs and very bony fingers, that sort of thing. And he just like slips out of the door with more ease than you would expect for someone of his size. And the other cultists that were the chair stand up, and as they like leave, they like brush themselves off.
The portal
They
takes
just
you all the
follow
way out.
silently behind.
He didn't like cross his legs and make them like, crawl sideways as the chair,
Up.
and it's just kind of like slowly like shifting.
No, not this time.
Take me outside, Jeeves.
He's on the list.
Yeah.
We're keeping a list. Just added his name to
More like
Ari-
middle.
Arias.
maybe the middle.
Bottom would be that guy.
What was
that's
that?
spitting
What
food,
was
right?
that?
Every night before I go
Yarganov?
to
What's
bed.
his name?
Yarganov.
Yarganov. He's on.
Joffrey.
He's closer to the
Cersei.
top.
So Arton,
Lord
Yarganov.
Does when he leaves, is there
Tiamat.
any script or anything that might have been on his person that is
Like you want to
Personal
investigate the room?
yes?
No, you don't find anything. I'll
No
just
hair.
Nope.
Is
Can't
everyone
swear.
that comes from hell? I guess it doesn't have
Pleasant.
much interaction with the outside world. Same kind of demeanor.
Oh yeah,
Don't like them.
we're all assholes.
Except for Lunera.
You're all right. But I don't
Alright.
like them.
Oh, I mean,
He just made the list.
I hope you don't like your
There's a
boss.
few good eggs, but they get snuffed out pretty quickly.
I hope you don't like your boss. I know that he's going to get there.
Is there a magical way to break the bond that he has to obey them?
Yeah, by killing,
By killing him.
Well, I know that, but I mean, like, is there
Aside
like aside from taking over the fifth layer of
That
hell?
would
'cause I'm
definitely
like,
be
well,
something that you would have to research.
Can we
I'm gonna
exercise?
add that
one
to
of those,
my daily
one of those
readings.
forbidden books might tell you
Yeah.
something.
I want to find a way to exercise her.
All right.
Yeah,
Jumping
the
jacks.
power of
Every
God
day.
compels you.
Like how Gond is the go-to one, just because
Alright.
it's very close. I'm glad that's a thing. Leosin pokes his head and he says, "The council is ready to continue talks."
Actually, who let that guy in?
He showed up and nobody wanted to mess with him. He seemed like a very powerful devil.
white devils usually are.
The next time, perhaps a
White
word.
devil. Sorry, that
Liquid
I say next time, perhaps a word of warning about what we might be meeting with the Lord of Hell would be.
Yeah, but it's more fun to see the
Appreciate it.
reactions on your guys' faces.
Fair point. Point taken.
All right,
It's gonna be hard to
let's go back
wash
in.
off and go
Let me
back to
guess,
the
they're
council.
gonna ask us to go to a
They.
to Thay.
Thay. Why would they ask you to go to Thay?
Just wait.
Okay. All right then, and he opens up the door for you guys and
Guess
walk
what? You're
back
going to
in.
say.
And Ontar Froome is just finishing. Like he's fully stood up. You can tell that like he's the only person in the room that stood up while he was delivering his report. He says, "All in all, we've lost about 100 men over the course of these dragon fights, but everything seems to be, well, not under control, but more or less under control." And then he nods and he sits down. Lady Silverhand says, "Thank you and welcome back, Mr. Guest. Hopefully everything went well."
More or less.
We have talked him down, and he will leave the city unharmed.
Perfect. that is what we wish.
Don't worry, we got you.
Now, please have a seat. We will talk. We will discuss the next steps and the reason, the main reason for the second council meeting. And she turns to Elia and says, "Esteemed guest, if you wouldn't mind." Elia says, "Thank you," and she stands up. And she stands up with a very elegant grace that is very belying of her human nature.
She's human.
And she says, "My name is Elia. I am, well, at least that is the name I go by. I am a representative of the Metallic Dragon Council. I have been informed of your group meeting, and we wish to see if there is something that can be done to aid. However, not everyone among the council is open to this deal," and she kind of gives a glare to Braun Anvil. "Some past issues have caused problems between us and the Immortals. So I am here to bring representatives from this council to ours to discuss things with the 5 heads of our dragon flights."
Would we be familiar with the player knowledge like Bahamut and other types?
We've run into the mention of Bahamut before in the earlier part of the campaign.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, you would know definitely about Bahamut, and you would know that metallic dragons are essentially his. Yeah, okay. They are essentially the good dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. Are you looking for volunteers?
I'm going to leave that up to the council on who to send, obviously. And Ontharr leans forward and he says, "Lady Silverhand, with all due respect, I do believe that the Order of the Broken Spear are the best people for the job." And there's kind of this little bit of a ruckus that goes on among the council. King Melindrak scoffs a bit and turns towards her and says, "Surely you can't be expecting them."
You just made the list.
And and she goes, "I actually agree with Master Froome." And she leans over to... Well, no. In common canon, she would say, "And don't call me Shirley." But she looks to you all and she says, "You have a few representatives of different members of this council, but none of you are directly tied to any one member. It does make the most sense to send you as..." And she eyes Thornock a bit and says, "Delegates to speak on our behalf. I don't need to tell you that getting the aid of the chromatic dragons as they fight, or as we fight the raiders that are going on all up and down the Sword Coast, very valuable."
Indeed, and I would not want to put anyone on this council as the figureheads of each harm's way. So
Wonderful.
be our honor.
Thank you. And she turns to Elia, or whatever her human name is, says, "Will that be satisfactory?" She looks at all of you and she says, "Yes, that should do just fine. I will be leaving in a few, or at the that first thing tomorrow. If you wish, I will be able to take you to our council much quicker than you would be able to on foot."
We would be honored to travel with you.
Wonderful. Well then, and Lady Silverhelm says that should be everything for this council meeting. Thank you all, and when you get response back, please let us know immediately, and we will gather the council together to discuss the results. Meeting adjourned. And everybody kind of gets up and starts wandering around a little bit. Elia stands up and heads out through a side door, kind of disappearing rather quickly.
Where are we supposed to meet?
I will get the details from her, Lady Silverhand.
I'm gonna stay seated.
I mean, they're all just kind of like get up and leave. They've all got other stuff to do. They all seem like they're very important people.
Okay.
Except for Dalen Winterhound. He stays behind, drumming his fingers a little bit, and once King Melindrock is out of the room, he turns to you and he says, "I have a request for you as well."
You guys have something
We
to
are.
say?
We.
If you say that, I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Say. We are kindred spirits with the Emerald Conclave.
I can feel our members' presence with you, and
So you
the
have
touch
ties
of
to
nature
the-
as well.
We've had run-ins with them. I think it was before you.
So I
It
got
was in the last
staff.
campaign.
The staff.
The Emerald Conclave. I was like,
Yeah.
that was just a
there
name
was,
floating
like,
off, but now it just
the
connected.
bear and
Yeah.
the panther. And
So
the,
yeah, this
Golden stag.
basically the five glorious beasts, including Parnagast, the Raven Messenger. Parnagast, right?
Mhm.
That's his name.
Parnagast.
Ah, good.
The golden stag, can't remember his name all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That one was cool.
I just said
The
it,
ruby
but I
bear.
can't remember it. Yeah,
Bear, the owl messenger that we had that one time, but he wasn't. He was just on
Tegillian,
their behalf.
Adalis,
Tegillian, that's what it is.
Parnagast, Artemis, Termina.
Not Artemis.
Termina? Oh,
Artemis
that's right.
is your brother.
It was in the list of all the others.
Yeah.
My bad. I was just reading and not actually looking at it.
And then the Emerald Enclave were the ones who cleared out the Yonti from
Right.
the Tomb of Didaris,
Right.
or
There's that
supposedly
clock,
they were the ones
that
who.
owl.
I say, how may we serve?
King Melindrock claims that the raids in the forest have stopped. That's very unsettling. Because I have not heard that at all. In fact, I've heard quite the contrary, that the raids have picked up quite a bit. And I need representatives that aren't directly tied to the council, like me, Enclave, to head out there.
I have always longed to see the Wood Elves' home.
And he's on our list.
Since I've never been back since I was a babe. I have no memories of the place.
Wonderful. It will be a good trip in that regard as well.
What motive do you think you have to apply to the council?
King Melindrak is a very proud person. And he doesn't really like the idea of the Elven Kingdom being in the same deck. I believe he's just being arrogant and foolish as usual.
What do you believe the urgency in meeting with others, and where do you believe?
I believe that the dragons are being controlled. The dragons that are attacking the cult is being controlled by one of the worm speakers. Killing that worm speaker and stealing the dragon mask, if he has one, would be an incredible boon.
And what why the urgency to find out if Melindrak is lying or not?
It's not so much that I'm worried that he's lying. It's more that I'm concerned for the people of Mist. Melindrak, I don't believe is a bad person. I
Just
believe
proud.
he's a king. And that he's very proud. Too proud to admit when he's in need of aid.
Our intentions are honorable, and I, for one, am always happy to champion the cause of the people if they're in danger.
Great. The village of Altand is where you'll be heading. They suffered a dragon attack, but appear to have survived without too many casualties.
Altan? Altan?
Altand. Altand.
Alta Day. See, this is why my notes are.
Right, because of the autocorrect.
I know that the council meeting is now required for the metallic dragons, but I do believe that they weren't expecting anything. Dragons are very slow creatures.
So perhaps we would have time to go with our silver dragon friend. She's silver dragon.
Perhaps.
That we would have time to journey with her and still visit Altand before we return.
I would hope that either way would work. I'm not certain. I mean, obviously things can change pretty quickly.
Dylan Winter.
But it's entirely up to you how you handle you.
I assume that we ought to take the lady up on her offer of letting us journey with her in the interest of time, if not in the interest of not offending Chromatic Dragon.
That might be wise.
Definitely, I believe me.
I appreciate it. I will see what I can do to make the journey to the Misty Forest more pleasant.
Thank you. We'll let you know what we find.
Thank you. And he gets up and walks off. So you guys head out. The day kind of winds down. You spend another evening in the inn drinking. Does anybody have anything they want to discuss?
Hoping to do a bit of the enchanting that I can talk with you about offline. Concerning this dragon tooth dagger that I got from Leontes.
Yeah, it's actually from Varam specifically. Okay. It's his old dagger. It's already magical.
Right.
Yes.
We can talk.
Okay.
I don't need to tie everybody up.
Yeah. So
That's what his robe's for.
Yeah.
Ding ding.
So you guys spend a pleasant evening, drinking, eating, being merry.
More drinking.
Joking about
My name's Mary.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Joking about mimics.
Be merry.
Tavish probably spent some time working with the boulette. Did you give it a command word yet?
I haven't figured out what I want.
There's like a thumb area that you like press down and you give it the command word.
Yeah.
It's
Say
a
your
little
command
magic
word.
ribbon. Yeah.
I did find out what my command word for
The boulette says, "Sorry, I don't know that."
for the drift globe was.
Oh yeah.
So Kala
Call it.
is light, and then Alta.
Okay.
So
Nice.
Lumos.
And that was just for your benefit because you weren't there. He received this magic item. It's basically a floating globe that emanates light.
yeah,
It's like
60
Just
foot.
follows us.
It says it's yeah. The light spell I can do at will, or the daylight spell is a 3rd level 1 charge spell.
Yeah, I think I say we just wait for instructions from Lady Silverhand on where to meet.
You do get a message late into the evening as you guys are getting ready for bed from one of the just a messenger service that says, and the simple message is Eastgate.
Okay. Let's get some rest and prepare to travel with the dragons.
Okay.
That
I'm
sounds
gonna
cool.
not get rest. Didn't start drinking.
These jerks.
I'll be trying to perform.
Okay, so everybody but Akio can take a long rest. I think.
Exhaustion.
Okay, yeah. If you take a partial rest, you won't get exhaustion.
I'll
that's
just
fine.
fall asleep from being drunk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was being mad.
Hurting.
I'll fall back asleep again.
You're brooding in your passed out state.
Yeah.
You all right there? You good?
Yeah.
Really good. Okay. All right. So the next morning, you guys all head out to the East Gate. Elia is standing there speaking with a few of the other people from the council, notably Ontharr Froom and the Harper's agent, Aventry. And they both kind of step away as she nods to them, and she takes a step back and she just starts shifting. And you can see she grows to an enormous size, causes quite the ruckus for the people on the wall. Everybody's like rushing to see as she turns into a giant. I believe she is a silver dragon. So her shimmering silver scales,
the lady that
yes,
cool.
shine in the light. And she looks at you, and you can hear her kind of rumble, and it's almost like she's whispering, but it's still very full volume. She says, "Are you ready?"
In Draconic or in normal?
In normal, in common.
common.
So.
Dang, I wish I had lesser image or whatever. You guys.
Yeah.
I just bow and I say, "I believe we are, my lady."
And she extends her wing down and kind of gives you a ramp, basically, to get onto her back.
Before we climb on, yeah. Before I climb on, I'll go to Onthar's room and just say, "You're a good guy. Thanks for having our back."
Thanks for having our back, friend. And do everything that you can to get the dragons on side.
I say, if we promise not to tell, is he the one mage that you trusted in the room? Or was it someone else?
Of course it was Akio. What? You think that I trust either of the other two?
Thanks. Well, have a drink for me, and then I'll just start climbing up there.
I'll have two. He calls back. And she waits until you're all on board, and then she spreads her wings, takes a few testing flaps, and then just takes off, like full on running. And soon enough, you guys are soaring through the air just like you were when you had your individual eagles. Although this time you are on the back of a massive dragon.
You guys are flying and coming
Cool.
in.
Take it in, boys. Take it in.
Like free
and
will.
ladies, take it in.
Very, very wonderful music playing in the background.
Is a unicorn following you from underneath as fast as you can?
You do catch a couple glimpses of the Sorum. Yep.
You got dimension door.
But
Rainbow teleporting.
It doesn't really matter how fast you guys are flying. She appears to catch up.
Cool.
It's like in a video game.
You can't get too far behind.
Yeah, they just
Yep. She's like
rubber bands to you.
she's dismissed. You have to summon her again. You know.
To help Akio's spirits, I'll cast Dragon's Breath on him with lightning. So, like, throw a bottle in the air.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a very smooth ride. Like, you guys are on the back of a ginormous dragon. There's plenty of room to, like, move around, stand up and stretch, you know. The seatbelt light comes on every now and then.
No smoking.
Yep.
You are now free to walk around the back.
We're now approaching turbulence.
And she takes you guys
That's
off,
she sneezes.
and we'll say for now she takes you into the rising sun, and we're going to end the session there tonight. Just because that is a good stopping place. Well done all around. Very impressed with your roleplay tonight. 750 XP each for wonderful roleplaying. And you're welcome for the magic items.
Thank you.
Yay!
I have a feeling we will use them.
Get at.
Yep, I'm gonna throw my dice at people.
Alright, Thornox, 700.
At my enemies. Hoo-yah!
And then if it hits them in the head and lands on a 6, I'm like, cling.
And then it'll blind them, maybe.
Or just rub it. It'll hurt their
totally forgot all
ego.
the
They'll
stuff
take
that I
1 point
have.
of psychic damage.
I have Alchemist Fire.
Yeah.
I have 5 of those, and I have 2 bombs.
You have 2 bombs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff too. And in fact, this
Like
this
crowbar.
dagger, I was like, holy cow! I hadn't
An
even
earring
looked
of
at how
texting.
good this is.
Studying of notes, so in case I forget, I did put Thornox experience in there.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then I need to put the
There's a blue
accent
hat for you.
Whoa. Ooh, that's so cute. And how big is it in game?
So
I think they're just large.
so this was gonna be my ask.
Well, the small ones. Are
Again, it's simply flavor, and if it's not gonna work, then
Oh,
that's
cool.
fine.
So
I'll just deal with it.
they
But
were
I didn't
fighting
realize
these-
how good this
these guys
dagger
that
actually
had a
is.
couple of
It's a
small-
fairly
smaller
significant
ones,
upgrade to
which
me
I have
for
as
just
well.
my insignia
And,
of claws.
Okay.
and they get
Because
they
it's
were,
a-
they're doing pretty well.
the-
So,
the
like,
to
the ground
hit is the
rumbles, like,
same.
this thing just
The damage
out of
is
it, they were
essentially
like, oh,
2d6 as opposed to
I love the way that
because
the
it's
ground
it's 1d6
looks on
for the
that
dagger and then
too.
plus
It's
1d6 of acid
Yeah.
damage.
3-dimensional.
On every,
So I got
on every hit.
this guy is a model,
But-
and then
I hate. Well, I don't hate, but I don't like the idea of actually like attacking with a
using
weapon.
background. So
And so I'm
they
wondering
spend a
if
lot of time,
there was a
like,
way that I
gathering
could
dirt
like
and stuff. So.
Yeah.
pay somebody to, I don't, disenchant isn't the right word, but sort of take the essence of it and sort of meld it somehow with like my insignia of claws or like my bracers or something like that, so that I'm kind of getting the same benefit.
So,
but I'll paint them like
Akio,
or something.
do you remember? Do
Yeah.
you remember what
Transferring the
the
twig.
mm-hmm. Do you remember the gold price on that?
Yeah, it was expensive. Let me look at my notes real quick.
Because we'd be looking about at the same thing. It would probably be. I mean, the problem is that you've got 2 magic items already.
25,000 gold.
25,000 gold was for the tree, basically transferring a staff of fire
Into
to
the
a
money.
wand.
But I ended up giving that away anyways. Yeah. But yeah, 20,000 gold is what
Okay.
I had quoted.
Let's see. What?
So it would probably be something along those same lines.
Correct.
The issue is that the insignia of claws is already magical.
Right.
So
Or I mean, I guess
We
in
still
doing
live?
it into like, it wouldn't even have to be
still
the
live?
insignia, but maybe like
Good night, everybody.
into like a non-magical ring or something like that. You know what I mean? So that